Hello and welcome. My name is Claire Corkram and I am a Careers and Employability Consultant for the Open University. The aim of these conversations is to showcase the main employability skills students will develop through the Open degree while studying at the Open University that you can take into the employment market. We hope you enjoy them. On the recording today, I'd like to welcome Dr. John Baxter, Qualification Director for BA BSc Open. Hello, John. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, happy to be here.
Great. John, before we discuss the Open degree and its benefits from an employability perspective, would you be kind enough just to provide a brief description of the degree for us, please?
Well, the Open degree is a uniquely flexible qualification, unique to the Open University. The only requirements are that students study 120 CATS points, which is the equivalent of 120 hours study at level 1, the equivalent of year 1 in a conventional university, 120 at level 2 and 120 at level 3. One of the first modules at level 1 has to be our key introductory module that teaches studentship skills, but that's the only limitation. So you can choose any variety of any combination of modules in any subject areas, from languages through science, through business studies, whatever you want to choose. I should say at the same time, a significant proportion of our students have studied at other institutions and bring with them some points. So they may not do that full 360 CATS points if they have brought study from another institution. And so, they may start at level 3 or start at level 2, depending on how much study they've done elsewhere.
Okay, fantastic. And am I right in thinking it was the first degree that the Open University started with?
Yeah, to start with, all students did Open degrees, and the idea of naming the degree at the Open University, at least, is a newfangled idea. But we've had 250,000 graduates or something in the Open degree, absolutely huge numbers over the last 50 years. But yes, it's a well-established degree.
Fantastic, great, thank you. So what would you say are the benefits of studying the qualification for students in terms of employability?
Well, I think the very fact that students are constructing their own degree, they're planning, they're plotting their way through their own learning, bringing together the modules that they want to study that they see as being relevant, is actually a key starting point in thinking about the sort of people that graduate with Open degrees. That means that even though all degree students have to have good time management skills, particularly if they are studying part-time and have other things they need to do, taking care of their family or working or both, those time management skills can have to be sometimes even greater on an Open degree, when students might be studying 2 modules simultaneously in completely different study areas, having to get their head into different learning spaces, if you like. So that sort of sense of being experts in managing their own time, experts in learning how to learn. So if you can study both in a business studies module and a physics module, they require in some ways quite different ways of thinking, and having that ability to cross different subjects and develop strategies for learning in different subjects is really important, and I think something that can help in the employment sphere. And just to say, the challenges that society faces and in healthcare, in social care, in all sorts, in climate change, are going to involve people that are expert in different subject areas. So having learned different subject areas as a part of their degree, and having that skill of learning how to learn, should mean that as new challenges get thrown up, they can face them and develop the skills and understanding they need in different areas, not necessarily that they've included in their first degree.
So quite adaptable and able to go with the flow of the market as it ebbs and flows in different ways. So,
that's right. I think the word is agility, I think is
our new word, agility.
Our new word.
In employability. So what would you say are the key employability skills that the students will develop as they go through the Open degree?
I guess I'd say time management skills, flexibility, autonomous working. Working autonomously is really important, I guess, for Open degree students, and particularly, I guess, in a working environment where a lot of people will be working at home. Having to develop those strategies and working at home to work through learning materials, often online, so developing IT skills is important. Our students become experts at working alone, but because team skills, team working skills are part of graduateness, all our modules, most of our modules at least, have elements of team working within them. So students learn to work in teams, and that's often at a distance. Not always, but because sometimes our students come together in study centres. But a lot of the time it's learning to work in teams at a distance. And I guess that's going to be a key skill for many people in the future. So that combination of good time management skills, knowing strategies for learning, working autonomously and working in teams. Some very generic skills that many graduates will have, but I think they're writ large on our open degree graduates.
And support the remote working remit that we're in at the moment as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, brilliant, thank you. So how would students benefit from choosing to study this programme in the current climate that we're in, you know, the volatile employment market that we're in?
Well, I guess the volatility in the employment market, you could say, is our students will benefit from the fact that they've confidently learned across different subject areas. Hopefully, many of them will leave being confident that they can take on new challenges and learn new areas, because they will have this this bag of tricks, this set of skills in terms of learning how to learn and tackling new areas. So I think in a volatile employment market, someone that can retrain and respond to new challenges is going to be really important. But I think also there's a question of interdisciplinarity. The fact that so many challenges don't just rely on what expertise in one area. You know, we've just gone through a pandemic when it's been very clear that dealing with that pandemic isn't just about understanding the science. It isn't just about persuading people to behave in certain ways. It isn't just about understanding what the graphs that they keep putting on the telly mean. It's some combination of all those things, or bringing together people that have all those skills in order to address the problem. And the pandemic is only one massive, wicked problem, wicked in the sense of being difficult to deal with, that society faces. You could think about climate change. You could think about an aging population. These are all new challenges that we're going to face in our employment and in our home lives. And we need people that can study across discipline boundaries, that are confident to learn new areas in order to address these. So you can sense that I'm a bit of an ambassador for these students, but I think the open degree students are uniquely qualified to deal with these challenges moving forward.
Because of that cross learning they have to do.
Yeah.
So, okay, fantastic. And you know, just to summarise, what would you say are the benefits to employers when recruiting graduates from the open programme?
I think in some ways, it's as I've perhaps said before, is that all graduates, particularly those from the Open University, will come with time management skills, will come with skills of learning to learn, agility to face new problems. But I think that they're exaggerated in our open students. You're taking on someone that's navigated their way, that's planned their own study through 3 years, You're taking on board someone that's navigated their way through 360 CATS points of modules, the equivalent of 3 years of full-time study. They've planned their own study route through it. You know that person is someone that can work by themselves, is someone that is confident to manage their own time. And I think as an employer, I think those open degree students can be uniquely qualified to deal with some of the challenges that we face.
Going to face. Yeah, great. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for your time today and the summaries that you've provided for us. And hopefully that's given an overview of the employability skills you're going through the open degree.